Hey, welcome to another quick update. Show you stuff happening while it's actually happening. These are our deliveries from Ambercon. That's our friends over in Otafi who have been actually such a great help to us. We hoped for this delivery yesterday, but apparently it was too late. But anyway, they're now dropping even more. They've dropped some sand and gravel, and there's some more bricks there. Well, I call them bricks, actually the hollow block. And we have to keep this fairly clear. So my Raptor has been dumped off over in the corner. So this is our most recent delivery here. And we do have an issue. Let's put it this way: it's an issue. It's something that has to be a little problem that has to be solved. We may have to build another pillar. It'll depend. Not quite sure how that's going to work out. But it doesn't actually look as if it's square going from here. So if you go from here, not quite sure how square that is, but it will have to be square for when we put a door in, obviously. So we're thinking of a sliding door that, well, I should say a roller door, but of course a little bit ugly at the top because the door has to slide up onto a roller and it has to be somewhere, and it's right at the front, and I don't favour that as being very aesthetic. So we'll have to be sure of how we're going to do that. Now our problem is to get all of the walls rendered. So rendered, the windows will be the last thing to go in. All of the walls has to be rendered. We have to decide what the level of the floor is. So I think we're looking at this corner being the lowest point, and then the concrete will come up, probably up to the bottom of that horizontal beam there. So it have to be shaved down a little over there, get that cleaned up, and then we have the materials now. All of this here, we have the materials to be able to concrete the floor. I'm sure that if I didn't say anything, Beth would have this floor tiled as well, but that's not going to happen. We don't need a tiled floor in a garage. So lots of materials here and lots of action. Actually, it is interesting to see so much happening. You can get people working, and we have tried all along to use local labour, to use local sources of materials. Even when we used to do our little grocery boxes, we'd go along to a local sari store, which was different to how it is now, but we'd go to one of the slightly bigger sari stores on the national highway, and we'd tell them we want to spend 1,500 pesos, and then they would get to work with a calculator, and they would list everything so that they brought it to exactly 1,500 pesos, and if they needed anything to top it up, a few pennies, then they'd put some little candies in there, which was always good. And then we would drop that sealed box. We never checked it until we got to, well, our most loved at the time, our most loved recipient of this was the blind man, Urbano. Unfortunately, we saw him pass, and and went to his funeral, and that was a very sad time. But we always used to drop him 1,500 or 2,000 pesos, something like that, and we always knew that he was being fed. And we built a house for him as well. A lot of these stories that we did then, that we posted then, were where they were what I think of as bittersweet. They were very sad, but then there were stories that were inspirational because of the courage of the people that were concerned and how they managed to overcome and continue living and smiling. Something that's common with Filipino people, their ability to smile in the face of extreme adversity. So that's where we are right now. These guys are gradually unloading the rest of the stuff. They're going to put those blocks on the stage, I think, and then we're going to go from there. Please, you can help us. You can help us by commenting, by liking at the very least, commenting, which is always very welcome. I always welcome the comments, except for those that have trolled on, found their way through half of a couple of our videos and then say something nasty. If that's you, you're gone. And I meant no apology for that. But everybody else, we really welcome your thoughts, how you feel, how long you've been with us, and your own story too. I made a comment very recently about on the picture of one of our subscribers that has been with us for some time, and he came, found a ready-made family. There were already some children, or one child, in the family of the woman that he eventually married, and now they have a beautiful child of their own, little girl. And I commented on that, and I said just something simple like cute overload because the child was so lovely. And he got back in touch with me, and he said that as far as his own second chance, I call it the second chance for many of us, including myself, it was more than a second chance. I'd had far too many chances, but this one turned out to be very lucky. And what my friend said was particularly touching, because he said that he prayed. He said, I asked the Lord, I'm paraphrasing, okay, my words, but he said, I asked the Lord for a glass of water, and he gave me a lake. So in other words, he asked for a second chance, but he got so much more. And now he is consider himself the most fortunate of men, which is not, it's not true. He's not the most fortunate of men. I'm the most fortunate of men. Just kidding. So please share what you see on our videos. It is important right now, because of having a difference in opinion on many things that are happening worldwide at the moment. YouTube, in their wisdom, I use the word lightly, I think are censoring my channel, because censorship is very, very much the dominant thing at the moment, and we are heavily censored whatever we do. Because of the way that things are, even the most ordinary person with no public platform is afraid sometimes to speak what they think about how our world is going. And I have done that, and because of that, if you're a mathematician, I'm not a mathematician. if anything, if it's possible to be dyslexic in maths, then I'm dyslexic. Very difficult for me to make sense of it. But if you look at how many subscribers we have and how many views we are being recorded as having, how many comments, or I should say how few, then that math doesn't work out. It doesn't make sense, not even to me. So we really need to have our videos shared, commented, liked in ratio to how much work we've done over the years. We've been on YouTube now, I think, for something like 10 years at least, and during that time we've helped as many people as we could. We've registered ourselves as a charity, and we have helped everyone who came to our door if we were able. So please, it's important, give us a like, a comment, and especially a share, because if you give us a share, the person you share to may even share it along to someone else who may be a great help to us. Thank you, and we'll be back, of course.